kids, welcome back. I hope you all are fit and healthy. Kids, today we are going to discuss the thinking questions related to chapter multiples and factors. Let's begin with riddles first. Question 1 says, who am I? A part is, I am a number between 20 and 30. I am divisible by 5. What number am I? Kids, we know that any number which ends with 0 or 5 is divisible by 5. Now, the numbers between 20 and 30 are 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28 and 29. So here you may observe that the only number that ends with 5, or you may say the only number which has 5 at its ones place is 25, and there is no number which has 0 at its ones place. So we will say 25 is the number which is divisible by 5 and it falls between 20 and 30. So the number is 25 here. B part of it says, I'm a number between 64 and 74. I'm divisible by 2, 5 and 10. What number am I? Now kids, the number which we have to find out falls between 64 and 74, and the number is divisible by all these numbers, which are 2, 5 and 10. Now let's first observe what are the conditions, or you may say what are the divisibility rules for 2, 5 and 10. We know that if a number ends with 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8, or you may say if a number is even, then it is divisible by 2. If a number ends with 0 or 5, that means if a number has 0 or 5 at its ones place, then the number is divisible by 5. And if a number has 0 at its ones place, then the number is divisible by 10. So kids, what is common in these three divisibility tests? Yes, the common part in it is the number should end by 0. That means there should be 0 at ones place of the number. And the numbers between 64 and 74 are 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73. Now kids, 70 is the only number between 64 and 74 which ends with 0, or you may say which has 0 at its ones place. So 70 is the only number which is divisible by 2, 5 as well as 10. Let's move to C part. It says, I'm a multiple of 10. I fall between 83 and 93. What number am I? Now kids, we have just revised the divisibility tests for 10. It says if a number ends with 0, then the number is divisible by 10. That means if a number has 0 at its ones place, then you can divide the number with 10 completely. So let's write the numbers between 83 and 93. So the numbers are 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91 and 92. Now 90 is the only number which has 0 at its ones place. That means 90 is the number which is divisible by 10, or you may say which is the multiple of 10. Right? How do we check whether a number is multiple of other number? By division. And if you are able to divide 90 completely by 10, that means 90 is a multiple of 10. So 90 is the number which is multiple of 10 and it falls between 83 and 93. Let's move to question 2 now. It says, can a factor of a number be greater than the number? Give reason. Kids, in order to answer this question, let's take example of number 4 and write the factors of number 4. We know that 1 multiplied by 4 is equal to 4 will give us two factors of 4, which are 1 and 4. And 2 multiplied by 2 is equal to 4 will give us another factor of 4, which is 2. Since 4 is not completely divided by 3, so we will say 3 is not a factor and we will stop here. So we may write the factors of 4 as 1, 2 and 4. Now kids, here you may observe that 1 is the smallest factor of 4 and 4 is the greatest factor of 4. But we do not have any other factor which is beyond 4. That means there is no other number which is a factor of 4 and it is greater than 4. Right? So, the greatest factor of any number is number itself. So, we may say that no, a factor cannot be greater than the number because the greatest factor of a number is number itself. Let's discuss question number 3 now. It says, find a number that is divisible by 3 and 5 both. Now kids, here you have to find a number which you may divide completely by 3 as well as by 5. So, in order to find such numbers, what do? We just simply multiply the given number. Here, the given numbers are 3 and 5. So, if we multiply 3 and 5, the product of these numbers will give us the number which is divisible by both the numbers. So, 3 multiplied by 5 is 15. So, you may say that 15 is the number which is divisible by both 3 and 5. So kids, from here we may conclude that if you have to find a number which is divisible by the 2 given numbers or the 3 given numbers, so you will simply multiply the numbers given to you in order to get the number. Let's move to question number 4. It says, find the 5th multiple of 7 and 5th multiple of 4. Is the sum also a multiple of 5? Now kids, in this question, first you have to find the 5th multiple of 7. In order to find the 5th multiple of 7, you will simply multiply 7 by 5. And in order to find the 5th multiple of 4, you will simply multiply 4 by 5. So let's do that first. So we know that 7 5s are 35 and 4 5s are 20. Now 35 is the 5th multiple of 7 and 20 is the 5th multiple of 4. We have to check whether the sum is also the multiple of 5. That means first we have to find out the sum of these multiples. So 35 plus 20 will give you 55. Now we have to check whether 55 is a multiple of 5 or not. So in order to do that, we may apply the divisibility rule on it, and we may say that since the number ends with 5, it is divisible by 5. So if the number is divisible by 5, that means it is the multiple of 5. So you may say that yes, the sum is a multiple of 5. Let's move to question number 5. It says, Atul had 56 pencils. In how many different ways would he arrange these pencils into groups so that each group had equal number of pencils? Now kids, in order to find out the ways in which Atul may arrange these pencils, we have to find the factors by multiplication for number 56. And the multiplication facts which we will write will give us the number of ways in which Atul can arrange 56 pencils in groups. So we know that the first multiplication fact, that is 1 multiplied by 56 is equal to 56, will give us two factors of 56. Those are 1 and 56. Kids, you may observe that 56 is an even number since it ends with 6. So it is divisible by 2. And the quotient is 28. So you may say that the multiplication fact 2 multiplied by 28 is equal to 56 will give us another two factors of 56, which are 2 and 28. Now, kids, you cannot divide 56 completely by 3 because 5 plus 6 gives you 11 and 11 is not divisible by 3. That means 56 is not divisible by 3. Let's move to 4 now. Kids, here you can divide 56 completely by 4 and the quotient is 14. So the multiplication fact 4 multiplied by 14 is equal to 56 will give us two factors, which are 14 and 4. Now kids, since 56 does not end with 5 or 0, so it is not divisible by 5. Let's move to number 6. Kids, if you divide 56 by 6, there will be a remainder left. So you cannot divide 56 completely by 6. That means 6 is also not a factor of 56. Let's move to number 7. You can divide 56 completely by 7 and the quotient is 8. That means 7 and 8 both are the factors of 56. And since these are the consecutive numbers, that means these are the immediate neighbors of each other in forward counting, isn't it? Because we know that we have 8 after 7 in forward counting. So we say that such numbers are consecutive numbers. So we have got consecutive numbers here, and whenever we get consecutive numbers for checking the factors of the number, we stop. So the multiplication facts obtained here will give us the number of ways in which Atul can arrange the pencils in group. He may either make one group of 56 pencils or 56 group of one pencil each, or you may say that he may make two groups of 28 pencils or vice versa, or he may create 4 groups of 14 pencils or vice versa, or he may create 7 groups of 8 pencils or vice versa. Let's now move to question number 6. It is fill in the blanks. First part is the product of two numbers is also called its dash. Kids, we know that when we multiply two numbers, we get a multiple of those two numbers. Also, the answer of multiplication is called the product. So you may say that the product of two numbers is also called its multiple. Second part is the common factor of two consecutive numbers is always dash. Now kids, we have just learned that consecutive numbers are the immediate neighbors of each other in forward counting. So let's take an example of number 4 and number 5. These are the consecutive numbers, right? So let's write the factors of 4. The factors of 4 are 1, 2 and 4. And the factors of 5 are 1 and 5. Now kids, here you may observe that 1 is the only number which is the common factor of these numbers, right? So you may say that the common factor of any two consecutive numbers is always 1. That means the numbers which are the immediate neighbors of each other always have only one common factor, that is 1. Let's move to third part. It says the product of an even number and an odd number is always dash number. So let's check it with the help of an example. Kids, if you multiply 8 and 7, 8 is an even number and 7 is an odd number. So the multiplication will give you product 56. That means we will get 56 as answer. So 56 is an even number. Let's check one more example, which is 2 multiplied by 3. Here 2 is an even number and 3 is an odd number, and the product of 2 and 3 gives us 6, which is an even number. Let's take a look on one more pair, 12 multiplied by 5. Kids, 12 is an even number and 5 is an odd number, and we know that 12 5s are 60. 60 again is an even number because it ends with 0, and we know that any number that ends with 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8 are even number. So kids, from here you may observe that whenever you multiply an even number and an odd number, you will always get even number as the product. So the product of an even number and an odd number is always even number. Let's now do part 4. It says the multiple of an even number is always dash number. Let's check it with the help of an example. Kids, we know that 4 is an even number. So let's multiply 4 with 1. On multiplication of 4 with 1, we'll get 4. Let's multiply 4 with 2. When we multiply 4 with 2, we will get 8. Let's now multiply 4 with 7. When we multiply 4 with 7, we get 28. Kids, here you may observe that the number is ending with an even number. That means the number is an even number. So you may say that whenever you multiply an even number with any other number, the product is always even, and we know that the product of two numbers is the multiple of the number, right? So you may say that the multiple of any even number is always even number. Let's now move to question number 7. It says state true or false. First part is we can find the largest multiple of a number. Kids, as one of the properties of multiples, we have learnt that the multiples of any number are unlimited, or you may say uncountable. That means you can never know which is the largest multiple of a number. So that means this statement is false. Part 2 is a multiple of a number is greater than or equal to the number. And we know that this is one of the properties of multiples, that a multiple of a number is always greater than the number or it is the number itself. So we may say that this statement is true. Third part says the number 1 is a multiple of every number. Kids, as one of the properties of multiples, we have learnt that every number is a multiple of 1 and smallest multiple of any number is number itself. So that means 1 is not a multiple of every number. Instead, 1 is a factor of every number, right? And it is the smallest factor of every number. So you may say that this statement is false. Fourth part is 2 is a multiple of both 14 and 16. Kids, we know that a multiple can be greater than the number or it can be equal to the number, but it can never be lesser than a number. So this statement is false. Also, you know that the factor of any number is smaller than the number or it is equal to the number. So you may say that 2 is a factor of both 14 and 16 because both 14 and 16 are even numbers and you may divide both these completely by 2. Part 5 says the number 1 has unlimited multiples. Kids, we know that multiples of any number are uncountable. That means the multiples of any number are unlimited. So we may say that it is true for number 1 also. Sixth part is 54 is the 8th multiple of 9. Now kids, in order to check whether 54 is the 8th multiple of 9 or not, we may simply multiply 8 and 9, right? And we know that 9 8s are 72. So this tells us that the 8th multiple of 9 is 72, not 54. So you may say that this statement is false. And if you divide 54 by 9, the quotient would be 6. So you may say that 54 is the 6th multiple of 9, not 8. Let's discuss question number 8. It says, can you make a factor tree for 43? Why? Let's check whether we can make the factor tree for 43 or not. And then we will give a reason for that. So, the first two factors which we will get for 43 would be 1 multiplied by 43 is equal to 43. That means 1 is the smallest and 43 is the greatest factor of number 43. Now, since 43 ends with 3, it cannot be divided by 2. So, let's move to number 3. Kids, if you add 4 and 3, you will get 7. 7 is not completely divisible by 3. So that means 3 is also not a factor of 43. If you divide 43 by 4, again it will leave a remainder. That means 4 is also not a factor of 43. If we check by 5, since the number is not ending by 0 or 5, that means 43 is not divisible by 5 also. So kids, you may say that 43 has only two factors, that are 1 and 43. And we know that the numbers which have only two factors, that is 1 and itself, are prime numbers. And we also know that we do not include 1 and number itself as the factors in factor tree, right? So you may say that you cannot make a factor tree for 43 because it has only two factors, that is 1 and itself, and we do not include these two factors in factor tree. I hope you have got these questions.